Transcendental meditation. That's been like a huge game changer in my life. And I've only been doing it like 4 or 5 years. So I wish I would have known that years and years ago.
How come? What do you think it would have changed for you then?
Well, besides the like health aspects of which there are tons, there's a creativity aspect to it as well that I think it enhances. And I wish I could have had some more of that when I was younger as well. It still works whether you believe in it or not. It's almost like if you run every day, you'll get certain physical benefits, right? Regardless and whether you're not you believe that running helps you, it just does.
Right.
And I think it works that way with TM. Well, as soon as I started doing it, I immediately felt like more energy, slept better. My happiness level just increased. My stress level decreased after I started it. And I feel like it seems like it's a type of meditation that really connects with a lot of other musicians and creative type people out there. Yeah.
Welcome to the Collaborative Resource Hub by Wellness Provisions. We're bridging the gap between mental health, wellness, and rock and roll. I'm Amy McBride, owner of Wellness Provisions, the most badass wellness business. Hey, are you feeling a little stuck in life? I offer wellness coaching sessions. Book a session with me if you're seeking to get healthy and ahead. Sessions are available worldwide. And check this out. Wellness Provisions supplies rock and rollers with high-quality supplements. We've simplified your shopping experience and given you a trustworthy place to go where you can essentially shop blindfolded. And did you know all our Collaborative Resource Hub interviews air on YouTube as well as all major podcast platforms? Subscribe to stay in the loop. Go immerse yourself in the full Collaborative Resource Hub experience over on our website. You'll have access to helpful resources that will inspire and educate you. So let's inspire each other. If that guy did it, so can you. Last but not least, my legal disclaimer. Nothing in this interview or the Collaborative Resource Hub substitutes medical advice. Please connect with your GP if you need medical guidance. Ian, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited that we're finally here talking because it took a minute to get the scheduling sorted, and now we get to dive in and talk about like meditation, I think, and stuff. So,
Yeah, let's do it. I
yeah.
like it.
So, this is my first question, pass or fail. And if you fail, the interview is going to be over immediately. So, um,
No pressure.
no pressure. What does wellness mean to you?
Well, I think the first thing I think of is health, but I think it's like more than that. It's like health plus like your way of being, way of living. And it's not just a physical thing, it's a physical and mental component in there. But it's like happy and healthy together would be good wellness, I think.
Yes. Is wellness something that you've always kind of been in tune to, or has it developed more as you've gotten older? Like most of us, we get hip to it.
Yeah, I don't think I've always necessarily been into it. Um, no, when I was younger, no, not really.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
there anything that like something that you're thankful for knowing now that you didn't know when you were younger that might have been cool to know?
Yes. Well, lots of things, but the biggest one I think is transcendental meditation. That's been like a huge game changer in my life, and I've only been doing it like 4 or 5 years. So I wish I would have known that years and years ago.
How come? What do you think it would have changed for you then?
Well, besides the like health aspects of which there are tons, there's a creativity aspect to it as well that I think it enhances, and I wish I could have had some more of that when I was younger as well. So
Yeah.
that was my alarm from the time we were supposed to start
Oh
this.
yeah, because we started early.
I apologize.
No, it's
That was my
perfect.
10-minute warning to like, okay, get ready and be ready. And okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's 10 till right now.
We
Perfect.
can edit that out if you
Yeah,
want.
or I'll leave it because
Yeah.
sometimes I like to leave stuff like that.
Yeah.
The real
See, I was being responsible, valuing your time.
That's it. So, and we're going to circle back to transcendental meditation for sure, but talking about alarms,
Okay.
How organized are you? What does that look like for you? Are you a punctual person? Have you always?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I don't know. I hate being late. It's just one of those things. I don't know if why it's just always been like I hate being late, especially for like movies. Like I don't want to run in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes late. Like what's going on? I like to be in there, popcorn settled, and go. Or like airplane flights or something. I hate that feeling of like you're gonna be late. You might not make the flight. Stuff like that. So yeah, I've always tried to be punctual, but also valuing other people's time as well. So,
Yeah,
and just kind of being responsible. And so, yeah, I try to be punctual.
that's good. What
I
about
think it
like,
because it shows a lot too to say like if you're whatever scenario is that you care about what you're doing. It's like okay, I'm here on time, ready to go, stoked. So
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, because I'm thinking about it, and it allows you to be more present and to immerse in whatever like if it's not like catching a flight per se, but something else, like you can be in the experience more fully if you showed up early or on time and not rushing, because like that's just like chaos in your brain otherwise.
maybe that's why. Maybe I try to avoid that. I hate that feeling. Oh, I don't like the rushing feeling because then, especially if you're driving somewhere, you're driving a little more reckless and like
Mhm.
crazy, and then you get there, and you're, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, or whatever. So I try to avoid those feelings in my life all the time,
Yeah.
if I
And
can.
that's the whole can of worms of like perspective too, and like your outlook and like how you feel internally is how you're relating to the world too. So, you know, that guy who's driving might not otherwise annoy you, but in that heightened, amped up state, what a fucking idiot, right? So,
Right. Or you might, yeah, make choices you wouldn't normally make under that pressure.
mhm,
So yeah, I've always tried to be punctual.
it's good. So what other benefits, like patience, for example, have you gotten personally from meditating?
Wait, have I gotten more patience from meditating? Is that what you asked?
I mean, yeah, because I mean, I have. I'm assuming you have. I feel like that's something that a lot of us do get. And the patience was my segue from the driving scenario.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure, I've probably gotten some more patience. Um, there's other things in life that like I think beat you down a little and give you patience too, like having kids a little. That helps give you some patience. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of benefits I think from the meditation. I don't know if you want to go into that now, but
Let's do it.
patience is one of them, I guess. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Rip the band-aid off. Sell me on transcendental meditation.
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to sell anyone on anything. It's just been a huge like boon in my life. It's been a great thing and it affected me so much. I just really like talking about it and telling other people about it. So, but I'm not trying to sell anyone on it, but I just tell you what happened to me. It might or might not happen to you. I don't know. But what is kind of cool about it is whether you believe in it or not, I believe it still works. I believe it still works whether you believe in it or not. It's almost like if you run every day, you'll get certain physical benefits, right? Regardless and whether you not you believe that running helps you, it just does. And
Right.
I think it works that way with TM. Well, as soon as I started doing it, I immediately had more energy than I've ever had, and I slept better than I slept like a rock. I immediately felt like more energy, slept better, was able to like organize my thoughts and time and like scheduling and things better. There were certain aspects of that. There was like a weird like moments of like super deep appreciation of things going on around me that would kind of happen like just these really intense I don't even know what to call it. Just um
It's like a heart
it,
connection that you get, just like this overwhelming like
maybe.
gratitude and like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. When I mean, those have happened here and there in my life. I used to call them emo moments to myself. Like, I'd be on tour somewhere and I'd look out the window in Norway and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful place I've ever been to in my life," or something. And but they would just start happening like all the time after doing TM. And yeah, it's kind of a gratitude thing, and just, really fulfilling and like happy feelings. I think my happiness level just increased, my stress level decreased after I started it.
So
Just
with
tons of
with
stuff.
TM, do you meditate once or twice a day? And like, what does it look like? How long? What kind of mantras? Like, what does it look like for someone who might not be familiar?
So yeah, they recommend you meditate twice a day, and each session is about 20 minutes. And you learn from a teacher in person over the course of a couple days. They teach you the process, and they give you a mantra, which is like a Sanskrit word or syllable that doesn't mean anything. It's just kind of a sound that you repeat over and over in your head. And sometimes, not all the time, you will transcend, which you kind of basically they describe it as kind of the drop of water returning to the ocean kind of thing. And where for me, it's kind of, you kind of enter the void. All my senses are kind of like blacked out kind of thing. It's and you're kind of, you know and then you kind of come out of it when you're done. It feels like waking up. It's a similar, you haven't really been asleep, but it has a similar sensation.
Yeah.
You kind of come back, and it's like, wow. um it's like you basically kind of like took a nap and drank a cup of coffee or something. It's like super restful and super energizing at the same time. But it's not like a jittery energy. It's like this strong energy that just kind of propels you for the next like 6 hours or something. Five. It's like the 5 hour energy without the jitters or
That's
something
the
like that.
tagline.
But
Yeah. No, I
yeah,
think, yeah, it's like, it wakes you up, like a cold shower or something, sort of like that.
yeah. It's similar. You kind of get this rush, and you also but have also like felt like took a long nap or something, and you, so it's like this re-energizing, and then you're like, bam, I'm up and I'm ready to go. It's awesome.
So what do you tell people who are like, because this is the number one question, well, I can't meditate, like I can't turn my brain off, or
Right.
also as like question to B to that is, like, is every meditation successful for you? Do you have somewhere you have trouble quieting your brain?
Yeah, so well, I tried other types of meditation. I tried apps and just on my own, never had a teacher or anything, just oh, I'm gonna try this meditating thing. And to greater or lesser degree, there wasn't anything compared with what TM has done. And but there's something about TM that I really like. That it's really easy. There's no effort. Some meditations are like you have to focus on your breath, focus on a word. You're not really focused on it. You just kind of repeat this thing in your head, and if you trail off, you return to it. But there's nothing about like pushing out thoughts. There's really no effort involved in it as far as some specialized breathing or trying to try and push out thoughts or try. There's no work to it really. It's really easy, and just you return to this mantra, and that's about it. And as far as like successful or not, I don't try and put like a value on each session, like, because they're all kind of different. When you've done it, you've done it, and it is what it is. And some might, yeah, feel a little deeper than others sometimes, but even if you're not, you know, swimming in the pool, if at least if you get your feet wet, it's good kind of thing. It's
Yep.
you've still done something to help. And I think, yeah, there's a lot of times where I just don't get worried about the like quality of it. I just do it and move on with my day. And but I can still usually feel the benefits, even if thought it wasn't a maybe very good or very deep meditation kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
And you're showing up for it, and it's literally, as they call it, a practice. So it's just like you
right,
just keep doing it. It's just what you do.
right, yeah.
Here's an advert in less than 50 seconds. Are you sick and tired of feeling sick and tired? Do you want to feel better in your mind and body? Then check out the wellness coaching that I offer. It's kind of like therapy. You can share what's on your mind, and then it's all about taking action. You'll learn new tools to help you heal and grow through what's tripping you up. We can focus on anything from physical health to mental health. Schedule a free 15-minute consult over on the website to learn more. And check out our Healthy Touring course. This self guided online video course is for any level of musician. Whether you tour all the time or only sometimes, you'll learn a ton if your goal is to play better, feel better, and be better. With special appearances by members of Descendants, Teenage Bottle Rocket, The Last Gang, Lawrence Arms, and more. Head over to the website for all the details. Now, back to the interview. Do you consider yourself a glass half full or half empty kind of person?
Yeah, I would say half full for sure. Yeah. It's I try and take a positive outlook on life. I always kind of have. So,
That's good.
yeah, half full.
Do you ever are there friends or people that try and just totally harshen your mellow? And how do you handle that?
Um no, not really any friends. You know, I kind of cut loose any of people like that in my life. At my age, ain't nobody got time for that, you know? I only surround myself with people who are usually pretty positive as well, you know?
That's good.
Of course, you're like maybe can come in contact with people trying to cut you down or whatever, but I just try and that, avoid that conflict and negativity when all possible. Especially if you're just somewhere like, and I can sense it, you know, and there's some people and they just carry that cloud around them, and it's like maybe we're on tour or something, and I'm backstage, and there's just someone, and I'm just like, whoop, I'm just gonna stay away from that.
Yeah. No, it's true. It is yeah, like the black cloud thing. I like that's sort of what it feels like when their
Yeah.
energy's off. Yeah. When you had to, I don't know, was it intentional or just something that happened, like having better boundaries and really being, um, were you intentional with who you were keeping around you? Because there are a lot of people and other people I've interviewed too, where, it's been like a thing they sort of had to do for themselves.
They had to do what?
Like cut out bad people or, change their
Uh,
environment, that sort of thing. Where it was like a
yeah,
defining.
yeah. I mean, there haven't been that many people I've had to like cut out. It's just, I think there's a few people that have just fallen off over the years, kind of thing, naturally.
Yeah.
And I think in general, I get a decent read on people pretty quick too, and I don't pursue friendships necessarily with people who I don't feel like I'd kind of want to hang out with and trust and kind of thing. So yeah, that hasn't been like a huge factor in my life, like having to get rid of people or whatever.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah.
How many of your friends meditate?
That's a great question. I guess I don't really know for sure. Um,
So you don't
there's a
know if you've sold them on it.
well, I mean, yeah, there's a few people that have since I started. Like my mom learned. There've been a couple other friends that I've learned after I told them my experiences. I mean, a big part of me learning was from a friend who told me about it. I'd read a book by David Lynch called Catching the Big Fish. It's this kind of short book. I read it in a recording studio. I had some downtime and I was reading it, and that's what really like sparked my interest, because he talks about how it changed the game for him creatively. And so I read a couple more books over time, and then that same artist I was recording with in that studio where I read the first book, he started doing it independent, and we started talking about it. And I played guitar on another thing for him, and the check I got from the record company for playing that, like it's just a little guitar solo on a song, like was the exact amount almost of what the course fee to learn TM was. So it was kind of cosmic in a way that him and I talked about it. I'd read the book first when I was in the studio with him first, and then the check I got for playing on another thing for him was the same amount as that's right when the time when he was learning and really encouraging me to. So it all kind of worked out, I think. And I feel like the universe kind of points you in directions like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you pay attention to the little things and yeah, it was just a great thing and the time in my life when I really needed it too, I think, too. Um, so yeah, it's been really great.
That is the whole like the check being basically like the amount that you needed. That is like the
Yeah.
icing on the cake. How trippy is that? That's so
It's
cool.
crazy. Yeah, it all just like linked up and I was like, wow, okay, I'm going for this then. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I
How
know there's probably people who have like, well, I shouldn't have to pay to learn meditation. And I understand that concern as well. I feel like with TM, it's basically just a fee to be able to maintain an infrastructure to be able to teach more people and have teachers trained all over the world where you can go to. And they have, it's based on your income too. It's a sliding scale. It's not, a flat fee for everyone. It's kind of based on your income. And then they also offer scholarships for people who can't afford it. And I know there's the David Lynch Foundation where his whole nonprofit is he takes the TM to inner city schools and teaches whole schools how to meditate, and then we'll pay for the fees for other people who can't afford it. So I think there's a lot of ways out there to especially other musicians. I know they help musicians out a lot to be able to try and learn it too. And I feel like it seems like it's a type of meditation that really connects with a lot of other musicians. There's
really?
I think a lot of and creative type people out there. Yeah, no, there's a lot of people out there um, who do TM in the music world. So
Interesting.
yeah,
When did you
and maybe
start?
it's because of that like creativity aspect that
That's
it
yeah, and
seems to
that's what I was
enhance.
wondering. Like, when did you start to notice that shift, in your creativity, or like what did that look like?
Well, it's funny because that's like the reason I wanted to start, and I haven't had the most crazy creativity stuff in the ways that I thought I would. I thought like, oh man, I'm just gonna be busting out all these songs, and they're gonna be all these, but it more like just like orders your thinking in a way, and kind of helps you allows you to prioritize things. It seems like, and just gives you the extra energy because sometimes it's like you're trying to work on something and man, I'm just falling asleep or man, I'm so exhausted. Like if you're practicing TM, that used to happen to me all the time. And it still does here and there, but I feel like when you're doing that, I have more energy to just do the work of whatever I'm doing,
Yeah.
writing, recording or whatever. So
I think a big part of it is because it's twice a day. If it
right.
was once a day, like there is benefit to that for sure, but twice a day, like that does a lot of extra stuff.
Right. And that's like and it's hard sometimes I'll miss one or a day and it depends because I've got little kids and basically so I have to do it either before they're awake and after they're asleep because it's hard to get it done at home if they're awake. And sometimes if I do it too late at night, it'll keep me awake. I have like so much energy, it'll like keep me up really late. And I used to be a total night out, but not as much anymore just with the job I have and with kids sometimes they're always getting up early, so you have to try and work around that. But yeah, like sometimes like if it gets a little too late, I'm like, oh, it's too late. If I meditate now, I'm gonna be up way too late because it just gives you this. You're just like, and like I said, it's not jittery or anything. You just have the energy. All right, let's do those dishes.
Yeah.
Let's take care of all the other things I need to, and then let's get in front of the computer and do whatever. So it's really cool. It kind of just gives you that motivation to get stuff
And and
done.
and I think you said this too, but it's like but focus. It's like that's like a
Yeah,
huge, yeah,
total focus.
aspect of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 And concentration.
Do you I don't know how old your kids are, but are they at an age that you're trying to impart like mindfulness and, just anything to help them deal with life at their age?
Yeah, they're all pretty young. They're all 7 and younger.
Mhm.
Um, so there it's just it's small things, I guess, take a deep breath, kind of some of those things.
Yeah.
Calm down. You're fine. Everything's okay. It's a lot of that, like, it's gonna be fine, and they get worked up over whatever. So like take a beat. So there's, some of that, but definitely just trying to like show and have them appreciate nature, taking to the beach, taking to the mountains, and yeah, just little things to them.
Yeah. Is there anything that you really hope that they, what do I want to say? Like, life stuff. Like, what do you want
Yeah.
them to like know or like to grow with? Does that make sense?
So much stuff. I mean, but basically, I just want them to feel comfortable in their skin and be able to have confidence is a huge thing to be able to pursue whatever they interest them, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So just having them to feel good about themselves and to feel grounded and secure and safe, and then be able to pursue anything they want to pursue. And if they like it, I want to help them as much as I can pursue that thing, kind of thing. Self realization, I guess, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
which is,
Yeah.
I guess, kind of another goal of meditation, because that's what it tells you eventually. It just makes you more of yourself, kind of thing. So.
Cool. That's awesome. Are there any like books or podcasts that you like, wellness related that you've gotten a lot out of?
There's not necessarily one that I listen to all the time, but
Okay.
a lot of times with podcasts, I'll just search a topic up and then go down the list. Okay, let's listen to this one. See, or if they're interviewing this person I've heard of or read their book, let's listen to that.
Yeah,
Um, so there was a lot of that, just researching and continually still learning about TM and stuff. I'd listen to a lot of that, meditation related stuff. I'm huge into like the unknown. So I love conspiracy theories and comparative religion and all the weird stuff out there. So I love listening to any kind of stuff about the paranormal, about people's beliefs and different stuff. So I
that's
love all the
cool.
out there theories and stuff, all the weird stuff out
What's
there.
the one that you're like most like that you just recently are like super interested in right now or like an episode that you recently heard that you're like, "What?"
I mean, recently it's been a lot of YouTube videos too, like long form, like documentaries on YouTube that are a couple hours long or something. Constantly looking at all kinds of different stuff. Let me think.
It all starts to run together too.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, there's almost like, well, at least in conspiracy theories, there's almost like this conspiracy theory worldview that emerges, where everything is a conspiracy, which I don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
But there's alternate theories and ideas about like every event in history now, kind of.
Yep. Yeah. And actually you
So
using that wording, alternate theories, like that's like because I think I find the whole conspiracy theory term like really like rude and like insulting. I feel like alternative theories or just theories is acceptable and a good name.
yeah, I mean, I believe the term conspiracy theories was created by the CIA after the Kennedy assassination as a derogatory term to discredit anyone who didn't believe the official narrative for that.
Yeah.
Which over time, I mean, it's one of the most blatant, or I don't know, not blatant. What's the word? It's one of those things that almost can't be a conspiracy theory anymore. You know,
Yes.
there's so much. I mean, I'm not saying I know exactly what happened because I don't, but I don't think it was just this one guy acting alone in that book depository. So there's certain things like that because I don't know I don't know the answers to much, but I have a lot of questions, and I seem to be able to be able to notice like yeah, that doesn't seem right. Certain things. So
Yeah.
just very very curious. I've always kind of been that way, and trying to be open minded to alternate ideas, and that goes in the health realm too. Interested in a lot of the interesting stuff going on there, vibrational medicine, energy medicine, Eastern medicine, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm very open to all that stuff.
All of it. And like both sides to anything. It's like, like I have friends who, subscribe more to the alternative theories. And it's like, well, you got to question those too. Like everything needs to be questioned, in
That's
my
true.
opinion.
Yeah. And like very little of it affects your day-to-day life, really. Um, but it's fun. I think
As
it's fun.
long
It's
as
a
it's,
form of it's almost a form of entertainment in a
yeah,
way, too.
yeah. As
So,
long as it's fun and doesn't stress you out, because that's a whole thing too. Like too much of
yeah,
that stuff, it's like, because it's not really part of your day to day, why keep like bringing that into your world and adding more stress?
right. Yeah, I don't find that they necessarily stress me out. I just like a good investigation, you know? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I like digging, hunting for the truth kind of thing. I always kind of been very fascinated by that. Just learning as much as I can, you know.
Yeah. Is there any other kind of wellness related stuff that you're into that does help you balance stress levels, or that, you use it, I don't know, when you're like on tour, or just anything?
I've done visualization from time to time, which thought had actually been kind of helpful. And then affirmations, I've tried that. I've enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then also just positive thinking in general, trying to keep a positive mental attitude.
It's so important because it makes like life better if you're coming at it from that perspective. It's easier. Life is easier.
Well, I don't know if it's easier, but I think you're able to deal with it better, you know?
But I think it can actually be easier, because if you do have a more positive outlook and you're willing to look at bad things as, opportunities for lessons or whatever, then, you know, life can actually kind of be easier.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah,
I'm right.
I
No, I'm
think
just
I would
kidding.
agree. No, I think I would agree. Yeah, because if someone has a negative, it's like, wow, that's just my luck or whatever, or it's always me, or you know, I feel like you can dig yourself into a rut that's hard to get out of mentally. And I think after maybe a long time of being in that rut, you never get out of it, maybe,
It's hard to tell you're
or
even in a
very
rut
hard.
anymore.
Right. That just becomes your new worldview or outlook, and it can be sad and limiting.
Very. Yeah. So it's like the whole victim mentality. Bad news.
Yeah. But then I think there's people who have never that don't know about it, or they don't
Mhm.
like maybe know any different, or have only been surrounded by maybe toxic people or been abused or whatever it is, that their self-worth is gone, and maybe they have no one to show them like, if you try this it can help, maybe. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully if there's anyone like that listening, there's 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 better out there. So reach out to one of us.
yeah.
Yeah, awesomeness is available. Life is still really hard, but shifting your
Mhm.
perspective makes a massive difference. Yeah.
Yeah, and having, something to focus on that's good, right? Whether that be religion for you, or meditation, or whatever it is. Um, music. I mean, music is so awesome that it can always lift you up. Like, I've never really gone to therapy, but I have a guitar, and like, to me, it was like a similar thing. It's like I can always play guitar, and if I feel bad, if I feel good, whatever, it's always there to help me. So having an instrument was always kind of maybe a form of therapy, and a way to like vent and get out frustrations or whatever,
Yeah.
express what you're feeling, you know.
Did you or do you ever journal or just like write songs or anything like that?
Yeah, I used to keep a pretty regular journal, but I haven't in a few years. It's just yeah, I probably should get back to it. But there was a time when I did that, and I think it was probably good, but it was I don't know that it necessarily helped me a ton because I wouldn't go back and read it all the time. Probably I probably should have, but like occasionally you look back and you get a little perspective. Like at the time, I thought that was the craziest, hardest thing, and now looking back, like that wasn't that bad, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, going back and rereading journals, it can show a lot of growth, which is it's
Yeah,
cool. But I think just the act of just dumping that shit out of your head can help tremendously and not even needing to reread it.
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Do you have actually, okay, before I ask this question, I'm going to edit this. Is there anything else that you want to touch on specifically?
I was gonna mention uh New Thought, but maybe that's going down a whole nother like path.
We can.
Oh, okay.
Okay. How do you want me to ask that?
I don't
'Cause
I don't know.
what do you mean by new thought?
It's like it's like a genre of literature from around the turn of the century where it was all these
Oh,
authors
like
kind of
Neville Goddard or whatever, or
yeah, where is the basic premise is your thoughts are causative, like your
yes.
thoughts become things is a short way of putting it
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Okay, I know what I'm gonna ask you.
okay.
So, are you I have to start over. It's a
Okay.
very direct question.
All right.
Are you in are I should just leave this in here now. Are you into new thought?
Yes, I am. No, I find it
Expand.
a particularly fascinating subgenre, I guess you would call it, literature from around the turn of the century with authors um, kind of talking about a similar idea that thoughts are causative and can help determine your reality and destiny, kind of. So there was Wallace D. Wattles had this book called The Science of Getting Rich. Well, you had this trilogy of books: Science of Getting Rich, The Science of Being Great, and The Science of Being Healthy. I can't remember. The one's like a health one. One's like kind of like a how to be just a good person one. And the science of getting rich sounds like it's kind of a materialistic one, but it's actually not. It's basically a way to kind of set goals and achieve them and use your thoughts as the like main kind of motivator to make those things happen. Um, it's what that lady who wrote did that movie The Secret she had read to kind of bring that out, which is what kind of brought it kind of more mainstream. But
Yeah.
there was other authors, Power of Positive Thinking, Norman Vincent Peale, which had more of like a little Christian spin
Mhm.
on it. There was Think and Grow Rich, which is where HR from Bad Brains got the term positive mental attitude, right? That book was from the 30s.
Right.
Um,
Yes.
and so that's another there's it goes off in a few tangents in that book, but it has I mean that's that PMA. That's kind of where it comes from today.
How has new thought, like, affected you? Like, what have you gotten out of it?
Well, I've just basically learned how powerful your thoughts can be from that and how you can focus them to, achieving goals a little more. And um, it's kind of a huge body of literature. And there's and actually a newer author named Mitch Horowitz.
Mhm.
He's written a lot of books in the recent years about this as well, and he's really kind of great about mixing in kind of the ancient hermetic and like historical aspects of it, but also kind of modern science aspects of it as well, and coming to a more nuanced version of New Thought and the possibilities of your mind and the power of your mind.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just basically giving me a more appreciation for focused intention and thought.
Yeah. It's awesome. Our brains are so powerful and shape all of our experiences and, like, what we work towards, and like if it's something we think is possible or not. Like, we're limiting ourselves, and like that's what's so wild.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Is there a quote that you like a lot?
There is, and it goes along with New Thought, like we were just talking about, and what you just said. And it's attributed to Henry Ford, and it goes something like, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Power of thought and belief.
Yes. That's a mic drop right there.
I think it's powerful. I think the power of your belief and your thoughts can have a discernible like effect on your trajectory and your accomplishments and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have any other like final tips or thoughts? I like to ask people. So the tagline for my business is delay dying, because I do the podcast, but then I also do wellness coaching and I sell supplements. And so I like to say, if you had to give someone tips or, advice on how to delay dying, in other words, just live happier and healthier, like what would you
Yeah,
say?
I think that's a great tagline. And it reminds me of an experience I had. I was in grad school and I was taking a late night class. It was only happened like it was like a late like 6 till 9 once or twice a week or something. And we have a break from the class and I go to the vending machine, right? And there's another guy from the class and we're both sitting there staring at the vending machine. And he's like, "What will kill you the least?" And I was like, exactly. I'm looking for what will kill me the least in this vending machine. So delay dying and choose what will kill you the least.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
The lesser of evils is always
Right.
the choice, or the what you want to select.
Yeah.
Do you have anything cool coming up or coming out like this summer that you'd like to share on?
The Aquabats will be on tour this summer. I know we have like a West Coast tour planned in July. And so really looking forward to that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for making time to be here and
Yeah.
to influence lots of people on all that is good in their thinking and how much is possible with meditation, with transcendental meditation. And yeah, man, this has been awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.